I missed another glorious sunrise over Hermon. Kind of watched it out of the crack in my door. But that's okay because I had a really good sleep and I really needed that after yesterday. So I made some decisions about today, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip today's section and take the bus to the trailhead at Kibbutz Dan and start from there tomorrow on the official INT. And I think that that just works in with the fact that really my main goal was I really wanted to do that top part of Hermon, and the next part is supposed to be really pretty, but it's also very, very difficult, like yesterday was, and a little bit longer. So I just thought it was more important to get the rest today and regroup for tomorrow. So that's the plan. So I made it to Kibbutz Dan, which is where I am now. I took the bus from Nimrod near Majda Shams, and here I am, and I'm gonna get some food because I need some food desperately. Then I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna stay tonight. I had really actually hoped that I would be more organized in terms of where I'm gonna stay tonight, but yesterday kind of threw all my plans out of the water and made me have to rethink everything. So hopefully everything's gonna work out, and I'm definitely gonna get some food and figure out how to go about tomorrow, and because tomorrow I have to get from Dan to Tel Hai. So I'll have to look into that, and yeah, so we continue. Alright, so this place where I am is called Beit Osishkin. It's the starting point for the Shvil Israel. And it's early afternoon. I got here a little while ago and was able to get some food at the local grocery store, so I feel a little bit better. Still a little bit anxious because I don't know where I'm going to stay tonight. The lady who works at the museum here, which is Beit Osishkin, she didn't know anything about a place where Shvilists can stay. Although there's supposed to be a gymnasium here where you can stay, but there's no contact information or anything. So I've put in a call to one of the local trail angels, and I'm hoping to hear back soon. In the meantime, I can tell you a little bit about what happened yesterday. So I made some bad decisions, which is not unexpected on my first day out. And I made it to the end of the trail, but it was just barely. It was getting dark when I got to the end of the trail. So I got lost quite a few times, and I had, I think, enough water with me. The recommendation was 3 to 4 liters of water, and I had 3.5. But I was afraid to drink it because I knew I was going slow, and I didn't know how slow, so I didn't want to run out. But I ended up dehydrated, pretty badly dehydrated probably, and plus with the altitude and everything, just ended up, again, not helping me find my way. Ended up reading, I'm pretty good with maps and directions, but ended up completely misreading the map at one point. So I was lucky. The place was crawling with soldiers. Apparently there were military exercises in the area, and so sometimes they just wondered what I was doing there, and other times they wanted to help. So one of the soldiers gave me a bottle of water, which was really great, and didn't actually know where he was on the map, but did know that the trail continued the opposite direction from where I was trying to get to. So that was really helpful, and yeah, so eventually I made it. It was hard. I knew it was going to be hard, but it was a good reality check. I learned a lot of lessons, and animals, wildlife. There were lots of cows, lots and lots of cows, especially at that ranch that the Shvil went through. Apparently the cows don't always hang out there. There was a veterinarian there giving them shots or something, and so they had collected them all to give them their shots. And the other thing is, like, they were crawling all over the hills. Like, you'd be sitting down minding your own business and you'd hear a sound and turn around to see a cow watching you pee. So otherwise there was lots of, I don't know if they were crickets or grasshoppers or what they were. They were jumping around all over the place. And lizards, lots of tiny little lizards. They were so cute. And otherwise just a lot of dead brush and a lot of thorns, and like huge ginormous thorns like that. Oh, maybe that looks okay, like that. Yeah, just a lot of rocks, very rocky, and at the top there was like no shade. Further down it was a little bit more forested, and there was actually some shade there. So if I had managed to make better time in the morning, I definitely should have left quite a lot earlier than I did to get started. And then maybe I would have made it to the more forested and more shaded areas in time. But as it is, Abraham from the place that I was staying got worried about me because it was getting dark, and he called me to make sure I was okay, and then came to get me, to rescue me from Neve Ativ. So big thanks to Abraham, to Avi, thank you so much. And yeah, so right now I'm still waiting to hear, and I'll let you know what happens. And the other thing is, like I told you before, I was not carrying my pack, which was the best decision I could have made. It just would have, I don't think I would have made it if I had the pack. But I did have a bunch of things that were really completely unnecessary. And so the trekking poles, for one, I brought with me, and they were completely useless, especially up at the top, where it was completely rocky and unstable all over the place. And there was just nowhere, there wasn't really anywhere that you could put them that they would have been helpful. And maybe lower down they might have helped a little bit in terms of taking some of the weight off my knees, because my knees were killing me. But really they were just in the way. I didn't use them once. And the other thing I took was the solar umbrella, which again, I didn't use it, and it was just in my way. Between that, carrying those because they didn't fit in my day pack, and an extra water bottle, I didn't have my hands free, which made it just a whole lot more slow going. And the other thing though that I was super grateful for was the zero shoes. So in addition to not having no drop, so having no heel, they have a very thin, sort of durable but thin sole, so you can feel everything through them. There's another type of hiking shoes that they have that's even thinner, and you can feel a lot more, but this was perfect. It was enough, thick enough, but it was thin enough as well that I could feel all the rocks and everything. I could feel the whole terrain through them, and I was so happy I wasn't wearing bigger boots. Sifu says that the sense of touch is the fastest of all the senses, and I certainly experienced that, because immediately, as soon as anything happened under my foot, I could immediately react to, well, I did immediately react without even thinking about it, to sort of rocks that gave way under my foot or whatever. I could immediately do something about it. And so that was, I was super happy for that. And I even had my first fall yesterday. I was avoiding a cow patty actually, and I fell over, lost my balance and fell over. Fortunately, fell over towards the hillside and not the downside. And I did not step in the cow patty, so at least that was successful. And then just really did use a lot of lessons learned from Kung Fu. So I'm so grateful for all that training and all those lessons. Thanks, Sifu. All right, this floppy hat has got to go. Okay, so I've sat at the Beit-Sishkin Museum and checked out the museum as well, just killing some time in the heat of the day and waiting for a response from the trail angel for this area, and I got nothing. So it's about 3:30 now and the sun is not as hot anymore. So I just thought, what the heck, why not see how far I can go today, and that'll give me a head start on tomorrow, and that way I'm not doing a full day on my first day with the pack. So I called one of the trail angels at the next village along the way, and she said it's not that far and it's better anyways to come up the ascent to Baruch after it's cooler. So I had not quite planned for this, but hey, I feel much better now that I've made a decision, and it means that I'm going to, in addition to my pack, I'm going to be carrying a couple of grocery bags that I was not supposed to be carrying, but we'll see how it goes. That's just the best I can do right now. All right, so I've already walked along a good ways, maybe not quite a couple of kilometers. I'm going to be wanting to find a place to sit and drink some water and eat very soon. But clearly this is probably not the place. There's a sign right there. I can't read what it says, but it does say danger. But the road is obviously safe. There is right there a sign for the Shvil, so I know I'm on the right way. I don't know if you can see it. There you go on the post. So I know I'm on the right way, and I'm just going to keep going until I can find some shade and a good spot to sit. Might take a while though, because that's where I'm headed and it looks pretty exposed. So wish me luck. Actually, I just got a little bit further along, maybe a couple of 100 meters further along, and around a curve there's a lovely tree that gives me a nice little piece of shade, and then there's a little spot here that's cleared. The fence goes a little bit further back there, a couple meters further back there. So this is the perfect spot. I'm gonna grab a bite to eat, and then I'm gonna continue along the way. And if I had just kept going just a little bit further, look where I could have sat and enjoyed my little break. Dag nabbit. Anyways, on we go. So guys, this is my first water crossing. I still have all those crazy grocery bags, so I think I'm going to take the grocery bags first and then come back for the pack. Just make it easier that way, hopefully. But it just seems to be taking so much time every single time. All right, river successfully forded twice. The water was kind of cold at first, but it was really refreshing and lovely. It wasn't very deep, just below my knees, maybe not even quite. But it was very dirty. I couldn't see where just about anything, but it was very rocky. And I did it. If you're thinking to do the Shvil anytime soon, it's really, really hard to follow there's no markers along that stretch. So you really need to follow the map, which also is not very good. It doesn't show all the roads all along it. Like there's one road that I was going to turn down because the construction seemed to just kind of go into a dead end. But I'm glad a car came by shortly thereafter and reassured me that I was going the right way, going straight. So here we are, and I found the river crossing. And yes, Lebanon is just right over there somewhere. Well, I made it to my Baruch. Unbelievable. But right now, the trail angel I spoke to earlier is not answering her phone, so there's a couple of picnic tables just inside the gate, and I'm just sitting here and waiting for a bit until I call her again. But it's a lovely, lovely evening, and I normally wouldn't like to hike at night, and especially here because it's really hard to see the markers. But this was really clear. It was just up the street, and it was actually uphill. So it was really, really nice to be able to do that in the dark when it's cooler and not quite so hot and bad to be hiking uphill in. Wow, I can't believe this. Around 3:30 this afternoon, one day early, not quite 24 hours I guess, but one day early, I actually started my trek on the Shvil. And I had called a trail angel from Kibbutz Dan in the next town after Kibbutz Dan, and asked if I would be able to stay with her, and she said yes. She said all she had was a sofa though, and she was worried about my allergies, so I said, you know what, I have my medication and I just need a place to sleep and I'm not gonna die, so please. And so she said it was fine. It turns out I'm the first person that she's ever hosted as a trail angel, because before it just never seemed right. Or she wasn't home or whatever, whenever she got the call. So I'm not sure how far I hiked today. I think 6 or 7 kilometers. Which is going to be almost as much less tomorrow. I'm kind of at the other end of the little village here from the Shvil, so I'll have to hike back to the Shvil, which is probably about another kilometer. So it doesn't save me my full hike of today for tomorrow, but a good chunk anyways. And I got here and she had decided she's gone to stay with a friend. So she's left me her bedroom so that I don't have to sleep on the couch that the cats runs all over. And let me do laundry and everything, and I'm just so happy. I'm in my dress, as you can see, because I'm doing everything else is in the wash. It's drying now. And yeah, everything happens for a reason. I am so glad that I started my hike today when I did, and not tomorrow, because there's actually a long and not very steep, but quite a long ascent up into my Baruch. And it's just a good thing that I did it after the sun went down. Let's just put it that way. I can't imagine having to do that tomorrow in the heat of the day if I had started at Kibbutz Dan tomorrow morning. So, like I said, everything happens for a reason, and I'm so grateful. Shout out to Shaked for letting me stay at her place and just opening your home and your heart to me. Thank you so much. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that for today. Laila Tov.